Hi guys, it's Caitlin, and today I am here to talk to you about episode 5 of Shadowhunters entitled Mushu to Go. I kind of feel like I've been spending way too much time recapping things in detail and not enough time doing a general non-spoiler review of the episode. So my non-spoiler review for this episode will be as follows. This is my favorite episode so far. Yeah, they're continuing to divert from the original stories, but it's coming away more to the point that I'm really enjoying it. We get a lot of really great interactions, a lot of really great scenes in this episode, and I overall really enjoyed it. It was an A episode for me, but in the end it only came out to about a B. Not a B plus, not a B minus, just a B, because I thought that the ending scene, which I will talk about in my recap in just a second, was really weak and really dragged down my overall feelings for the episode. I say that the highlight of this episode for me was Alec, especially his interactions with Clary. I really loved how they got along in this episode. I mean, they were arguing and disliking each other most of the time, but I felt like it was actually kind of a cover, and it gave me a lot of insight into his insecurity and kind of who he really was as a person, so I really enjoyed that. Alec was 100% the reason I love this episode. He was the highlight of it. The episode was almost entirely about him and Clary, and I think that's a big reason why I liked it as well. I think the low light for this episode was the ending, which was a werewolf scene, and the existence of Jace and Izzy in this storyline and all that really dragged it down, because to me, Jace is just such a negative person. You don't have any idea that he's fun. In this show, he just kind of sucks. So what overall happened in this episode is Mayris comes back from Idris, and she's mad at Izzy and Alec because of all that's been going on. The Fae have not been communicating with the Clave, so Mayris comes back, sends Jace and Izzy to interview to find out why they aren't speaking to them. Alec and Clary are supposed to stay behind. Clary takes off, and in the midst of doing so kind of drags Alec on this adventure to find the JC box, runs into Simon. They're kidnapped by werewolves. We find out that Valentine is creating more Forsaken, and then Luke gets into a battle with the alpha of the werewolf pack that kidnapped Clary. He kills the alpha, becomes the alpha, but is poisoned by the alpha's bite and is going to die at the end of the episode if they don't get him to a warlock to reverse the effects. So now let's get into the real stuff. I don't know why I'm out of breath. I'm so winded. I had some issues initially because Clary was very whiny and kind of snappy towards Alec from the get-go. Like, I know that she's had her issues with him, but I feel like there comes a point where she needs to figure out how to interact with him, how not to antagonize him when he has this power over her already. I don't know what to say about Mayris other than that woman is a capital C word. But damn. Wow. She comes through this portal, and the first thing she does is sit there and criticize Izzy, and she shoves past both Clary and Izzy. Clary's like, oh, I guess she's not very warm. She doesn't really hug people. Izzy tells Clary, well, you know, Shadowhunters aren't really huggy. And then Mayris goes and hugs Jace and hugs Alec. Clary freaking, like, is drawing pictures of Valentine. And when Alec was giving her, like, the third degree, like, where's Valentine? What did you see? What was he wearing? What did it look like in the background? She was just like, I don't know. And then she's sitting there drawing a picture of him. She looks at the picture and she's like, ah! And she tears it out, crumples it up, and throws it on the floor next to her. She's sitting on the stairs. Bit melodramatic. I can only imagine how awkward it was to keep a straight face during that scene because it was so stupid. Then we get this interaction between Jace and Alec that I really loved, where he's basically like, you know, I wanted to talk to you. I thought you'd be mad at me because of what happened when we were facing the memory demon. And Jace goes, why? Because you love me? I love you too. We're parabatai. You know, you're the person I care about most. And you can just see Alec's heart shatter. I know I've been talking about Alec enough already, but Alec is the reason I love this episode. Alec made this episode. Matthew Daddario is everything. He is perfect as Alec. He portrayed everything perfectly. I don't know if the writing for Alec was good or if he just portrays it really well, but I loved Alec in this episode, and even in the books, I like Alec, but I don't love Alec. I love Malik. I love them as a couple, but I don't love Alec as an individual. But this show, Alec is my favorite character. Can we just, like, get rid of everybody? I just want to watch Alec and Clary go fight monsters together. Like, I don't care about Izzy and her over-sexualized weirdness. I don't care about Jace and his Batman voice bad attitude. And Simon can stick around because he's really only there sometimes. I just want Alec and Clary versus the world, okay? That is all I want. That is all I want. And I really, really loved the sequence after Jace and Izzy go to investigate Meliorn. When Alec and Clary are sitting there training together, I love that whole sequence. He's a really great teacher. You kind of get this feeling like he's upset because of the Jace situation, but he's not a bad guy. He's actually so patient with her. He knocks her down and he helps her back up. And something in me is making me start to ship Alec and Clary. Like, I ship Malik hardcore, but in this episode, I am hardcore shipping Cleric. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I'm pretty sure that Alec is 100% gay. I mean, I know Magnus is bi, but I'm pretty sure Alec is 100% homosexual. But those scenes gave me the feels. Like, I just want them to be best friends or something because I just love their interactions so much. Like, their interactions are the ones that are really keeping me going in this show. And then Magnus calls, and oh my gosh, it's like more gay Jack Sparrow. He's like, Alexander, hi. And he asks Alec to drinks. And Alec goes, that sounds fun, when? And Magnus is like, how about right now? And he's like, oh, I can't, bye. And he hangs up because he just noticed that Clary escaped during the phone call. He goes chasing after her and Magnus is like, playing hard to get. I like a challenge. And I died. Like, I just ship Alec with everybody except, like, obviously his sister and Jace because I don't care about them. I don't want them in the show anymore. I just want Alec. Let's just make Shadowhunter, no S, just Shadowhunter, caps underneath Alec. Market that ABC Family /Freeform. We see him interacting with Clary some more when he tracks her down outside the Institute because she has her invisibility rune on, but she didn't silence her cell phone. And I didn't realize that she was invisible. Like, her phone was ringing and everybody's like checking their phones. And I was thinking, because it was right after that scene where it had shown that Alaric was betraying Luke, and I wasn't even sure at that point if he was actually betraying Luke or if he was like playing double agent on Luke's behalf or what. But her phone's ringing and everybody's like checking their phone. And I thought for sure that it must have been like some kind of mass text sent out with Clary's face and she was like in the werewolf section of town or something. But no, apparently she was invisible. I wish it would have kind of hinted at that other than Alec telling us afterwards because I was really confused. She basically just calls him out. You're miserable, you know, it's because you're in love with Jace and he's 100% straight, right? And Alec's reaction, you're in love with Jace. And Clary's like, good middle school response, dude. Alec is everything in this episode. Like, could they have cast a better Alec? If you say yes, shame on you. Valentine is like changing these people into Forsaken. I'm just sitting there thinking the whole time, where did he get these guys? Where did they come from? Like, they don't look emaciated. They don't look like they've been beaten. He was basically saying, I'm setting you free. I'm doing you a favor. And they were kind of acting like they thought that he was. But, like, why? They look just normal except in ugly clothes. I don't understand. Was he setting them free of bad fashion? And, like, one guy kind of steps forward like he's gonna volunteer and then Valentine's assistant, like, shoves him. And I was like, was that really necessary? You really think that that's going to encourage people to join your cause? I mean, I don't know that they don't really have an option at this point because you're just gonna draw a rune on them and then apparently inject them with Seelie blood. But, like, really. And then when they meet up with Simon, Alec just continues to fucking slay. I just love his snarkiness. Like, sometimes it's over the top, but it's starting to come off. Like, his snark is, like, so weird. And at first I was kind of put off by it in the previous episodes. And in this episode, at first I was like, why is he being such a douche? But then, like, if you actually pay attention, like, he makes these really snide, rude comments, but then it's not like he continues. He doesn't act like he even believes them, so it's pretty clear to me that he's just, like, his snarkiness in this TV show is like his way of armoring himself. And I really love that because he makes these snarky comments because I don't think he really believes the things he's saying. He's just saying it to kind of shield himself and try to protect himself. And that makes me really sad because, I don't know, Matthew Daddario is just doing such a good job. And he kind of talks really old-fashioned when he's being snarky. And I love it. They go and they're looking at all the runes that are all over Clary's apartment. And like she could never see them before, and some of them are new. And then Simon can see them too. You can tell that Alec is a little bit suspicious, but he doesn't really say anything about it. And then they point out like this painting on the wall of like a heart with their initials in it. And they're like, this is when we were engaged. He's like, you were engaged? I am almost certain I don't want to hear this story. Simon figures out there's something in the floorboards and he pulls him out of the way. And then Alex shoves him out of the way and he's like, get back. And he reaches out and grabs it. And it seems like he's just being a jerk, but if you think about it, he's actually protecting them. Because when he hears sounds outside, he doesn't be like, you guys go out there and face it, I'm going to stay in here. He doesn't take Simon with him. He goes out and faces it, tells them to stay there where they're safe. And then when they're kidnapped, you can just see the look on his face like, oh fuck, I don't even know what to do. At first I thought he was going to chase him, and then Alec calls Jace and Izzy, and oh my gosh, Jace is such a jerk to him. Like, at least in the books, you kind of got the feeling that at least, you know, maybe some of it was Jace, but it was mostly Alec. But Jace just treats Alec like shit over and over again. Like, he's just so rude to him. He's so mean to him. He makes these horrible comments to him about what a shitty person he is, and basically just accuses Alec over and over of stabbing him in the back, of being a jerk, of all these awful things. And it's like, he has no remorse for it. He's such a piece of shit. Like, why would you say that to him? Like, he is bending over backwards. He's in freaking Clary's house. He's like, she was just kidnapped. I don't know what to do. I'm calling you. I'm giving you this information. It's not like he got home later that night or the next day and Alec was like in there by himself like, hey dude, by the way, Clary got kidnapped a couple days ago. Forgot to mention it. Like, no, he called you right away. He feels really bad. And then he, like, kicks Alec like a dog while he's down. And then is like, Alec, come here. We need a parabatai bond. Oh, it's not working. Why are you fucking it up? Oh, it's still not working. Way to go, Alec. Way to fuck it up. And Alec was trying, and he just keeps coming back and forgiving him and just being so nice to him. And Jace is just such a fucking tool. They're being held in the restaurant, and they've just dragged Simon away. And I'm just sitting there thinking, because she's sitting there watching him being dragged away, no! No, Simon! No! Like, what? Were you tied to the chair? Why didn't you get up and grab him? But unless I missed it, which I might have because I was eating a salad and I probably looked down for like that fraction of a second where it showed her being tied to the chair. But it didn't look like she was being tied to the chair. She just looked like she was sitting there, maybe handcuffed. Couldn't she have jumped up and grabbed him and been like, no, don't take him from me? But she just sits there and screams. Like, she doesn't even fight. She just kind of turns halfway around in her chair. Simon! No! Simon, no. Don't make me get up to save you. I don't want to. It's been a really long day. I just want to sit down for a while. And then, you know, Simon is locked in this thing. He's upside down, but luckily he has his vampire powers where he's able to break the manacles and get himself down and find a cell phone and call Clary's phone. And luckily Jace answers and he's like, oh, we're at this restaurant on the pier. They have really inexpensive cocktails. Oh, Simon. You always pick the most inopportune moments to make the weirdest observations. And so once they get there, obviously Luke has just rescued Clary. She's not sure if she believes that she's being rescued, but he's like carrying her upside down and she's like, where are we going? And he's like, somewhere safe. And she's just like, okay. And then Jace and Alec show up and they're fighting Luke and like they get Clary away from Luke and Alec catches her before she can hit the ground. And I think that was really the moment that this weird I ship this gay guy with this straight girl thing started happening. This is the scene that dropped this episode for me because I really loved this episode overall. It was almost an A episode until the alpha fight scene. The current alpha is jumping at them and then Luke intercepts him, takes him out, and then supposedly there's this fight, but it's like all behind like these barriers, and yet it focuses on it like it's supposed to be exciting, and it was just really boring and anticlimactic, and I'm just sitting there like I was like this all episode, and when that scene started I was like this. There's like this burst of light, which I'm assuming meant that he'd killed the previous alpha, and then he comes out, Clary's like, he fought him to protect us. Now he's the new alpha. And then, like, there's this burst of light, and he just, like, stands up straight, because apparently all he was doing was bending over. And I always kind of thought that the transformation process was a little more brutal than just, like, a ray of light, and then boom, I'm just a human who's kind of bent in half. Let me just straighten up. He gives Claire that whole speech about, I'm here to protect you, and then he collapses. I have to take him to a warlock so he doesn't die, because a warlock's magic is the only thing that can cure an alpha bite. How do people take over packs, then? Like, every time there's an alpha fight to become the new alpha, does the winner just automatically die right away? Like, how is there an alpha if alpha bites are poisonous to other alphas? Why are you dying from a wolf bite if you're a wolf? Is that just how it happens? Like, wolves are almost extinct because they're allergic to themselves? And then, of course, we end with Jace being a fucking asshole to Alec again. At least the music was on point the whole friggin' episode. Like, good job, scorers. That was my review of episode 5 of Shadowhunters on Freeform. Go ahead and comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this episode. If you liked it, if you disliked it, what you thought of it. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what you disliked about it. Tell me if you feel the same way about Alec in general or Alec specifically as I do. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Hit like if you like this video. Hit subscribe. Bye. Simon goes to the Hotel du Mort. He is chased away by Alejandro. Who is Alejandro? What am I talking about? Oh, the neighbor got a new puppy. How cute. Looks like a Rottweiler.